Well, I've got the fastback roofing primer now and the bonnet, and at the moment they look pretty good actually. I put a fair bit of 2-pack primer on them, didn't really need it, but while it was in the gun it came out and went on the panels, so I'm pretty pleased with the front actually. It looks really solid. A little bit of fluff on it there, but yeah, so that's that. Our next stop will be a little guide coat in black on them, flatted back with probably 600 on these, I reckon. Flatted back 600, get it all cleaned up in here and empty and fresh, and then get them painted. It's very cold at the moment, that's the only problem, so it takes a while to get everything nice and hot. But coming on, it's coming on. I was a little bit worried about how much paint I would have to finish the internals of the frog eye, but I feel I've got enough because it was a special mix and I'm not going to be able to duplicate it. So bonnet is all painted inside, the outside is all flatted down nicely. So tomorrow I'll just give it a little nib off around the edges where the overspray is and paint the other side of it, but it's yeah, it's a bit chilly, so you need to be using plenty of hardener and a bit of rocket in with it to get it sent off okay. But I had enough paint to do it. I'll have to have enough paint to do it, so can't afford any mistakes, and get all these bits painted and then get the car back into this little area here and finish the rest of it, including building a brand new engine for it, but that's another story. Well, I've got the hard top, the Ashley GT fastback hard top painted, and the early Ashley frog eye type bonnet painted. Only got sort of 2 layers of paint on there, but they're 2 good layers of paint. A little bit of dirt in it here and there, but I was going to flatten polish it anyway, like the rest of the car. But I'm quite pleased with it. The actual panels themselves are really good. Yeah, I think that'll be all right, and I'm not going to paint that shaped bit black. I'm going to leave it in the cherry red to match the rest of it. I had to do quite a lot of filler work on this in the end, but again, I'm pleased with that. It doesn't show any signs of the indents that were there. Yeah, you can see a little bit of it there in the light there as I move the camera. That's where there were a couple of lines in it, but I don't think you're going to really notice that. You'd have to be looking for it to see it. So that's that bit. I'm just cooking it now, which is very, very cold out today. One of the coldest days we've had so far in January, and so got to get it cooked and hot for the paint to go off. Leave it about another half hour, and then walk away from it. But overall, I'm very pleased with that. It's another job jobbed. Well, it's not all fun and painting. It's all about this rubbing down. And I seem to spend my life rubbing things down. So this is the Ashley front, early Ashley front for the Ashley GT that I'm building at the moment, and it's cherry red. You probably would have seen some of the other progress on the other YouTube videos. But this morning, 6th of January 2025, it's a bit chilly, but I've been flattening down the paint with 2000 paper, wet, plenty of soap in it, and soon it will be ready for polishing with the mop. taken a while, so I've done rubbed the roof down already. This is feeling sort of pretty good. And then we go over it with this to see if we've got all the orange peel out of it and any little imperfections. There's not a lot of paint on this one, just 2 coats, fairly thick, but 2 coats. So the last thing I want to do is end up going through it, but it's looking alright actually. I'm quite happy with that. There's a little bit more on my hand, and then we can think about getting the polishing mop onto it. So that's the bonnet and that's the roof. That one's pretty much ready to go now, and I'll be glad when I've got them polished and done, then I can put them on the car, get them out of the way, and then get on to fitting up some of the rest of the car. But I just wanted to get all the bodywork and paint work done first of all, and it's all coming along really nicely. The cherry red wouldn't have been my choice of colour, but that was the colour of the car. I think it would look nice in a Speedwell blue or primrose yellow, but cherry red it's going to be. So it'll all be together soon. Black wire wheels, it's going to look good. For those of you that have been following the Frog Eye Sprite, the Ashley GT Sprite build, is an update of where we are. All the suspension is all fitted on the car and finished. We're using 450-pound springs on the front, which we would use on like a fast road type car, maybe do a bit of competition with it, like track day stuff. 11/16 front anti-roll bar. Again, could use that on a race car, but tend to go for a 3/4 normally. I've changed all the oil in the shocks, cleaned them all out, and I've put some different grade oil in it, and they're really good. I think they're going to be excellent. New discs, new calipers, new pads, just standard pads. I've only put rubber hoses on it. Didn't really want to go to the expense of the stainless ones. The rubbers are going to be fine, they're brand new. So that's where we are with that. All the brake pipes in, all the brakes now bled through and working. I've left the clutch pipe there, just sitting there waiting. I use an easy bleed kit normally, and what happens is when you put it on there, if you haven't got anything on the clutch pipe down there, it all comes out the clutch side of it. So I put a piece of pipe on it and bent the end over so it couldn't escape that way, and then I could bleed it through. But what I found is the easy bleed kits always leak from the lid one way or another, so you've got to be pretty sharp with it, and I'll round it two or three times, bleeding each corner, hence the mess on the floor. Yeah, it's there. Handbrake's all installed. I'm using a late type solid rod cable, which is just so much easier. As you can see, still no diff. Trying to locate a 3.9 at the moment for the right price. They are expensive. So there's the handbrake, which is a really nice original one, chrome one, which I managed to find. Columns in, pedals are in. Those are the pedals I modified. They'd actually worn out. The rubbers must have worn through early in the car's life, and the edges of the pedals were worn, so I had to weld new plates on them, same as the originals. That isn't the steering wheel we'll be using, it is a steering wheel, just to get things around. Managed to buy the last of these rails, which I didn't have, so that'll be coming early next week. And I'm not sure whether to polish them, cover them, or anodise them in a slightly different colour. But she's coming along nicely. I've sent the engine away for rebuilding this week, well, for machining this week. I'll be rebuilding it myself, and that should be back, I don't think, till the week after next. It's not going to be anything super fancy, just a 1330 with an unleaded head, slightly upgraded camshaft in it, but you'll see a lot more of that when it comes back. I've sent the carbs away as well. I'm going to run it on twin HS4s, so twin 1.5", which will look really nice under the bonnet. Some decent carbs, some big uns. Don't need it, probably 1.25 would be adequate, but it's going to have 1.5" on it. So that's where we are as of the, what we're on day 11th of January, and it's very cold.